All right, we're back, and welcome everybody to the 123rd episode of the Let's Go podcast. We haven't had a podcast now for a few weeks, and it's a Friday afternoon. Shabbos is early, but I wanted to come on and do a quick little solo podcast here. As almost all of you watching know, we had two of the most anticipated matchups in HSL basketball history last night. Our semifinals game featuring, first of all, Rides to Fly, the 1 seed versus the 5 Olam Realty, followed by the 2 Fly Vipers versus the 3 Silver Key Realty. Now, those two games, we hyped it up, and I thought would be unbelievable matchup, super competitive throughout. And to be very blunt and honest, it was very disappointing from a content perspective. Now, we got some good videos, we got some good highlights. Shout out to David Gottlieb for the great camera work with the new device that we have, which we'll try to incorporate. But we'll break down both games very quickly and then give a soft introduction to our championships on Sunday, both Tier 1 and Tier 2. Going to the Tier 1 semifinals, coming into Game 1, I had Vly at a -6.5, and that was assuming that Sherfian showing up. Sherfian didn't show up, so if I had to do the line over again, I'd probably do a 2.5, 3.5. At the end of the day, it was very simple. Start with the later game. Silver Key Realty came out as dead as I've ever seen them come out. They didn't hit threes. They didn't rebound. They had 3 or 4 assists the whole night, which is the opposite of their team. Usually they have 20 or 25 assists. Like, they're crazy in the assist category. And Vly once again just showed, led by Dylan Kaufman, that they're just too overpowering. Aaron and Jack Ross out-rebounded, after rechecking the stats. They out-rebounded the whole Vly team 33-25. The whole Silver Key team 33-25. 8 rebounds. Noah had 19, Jack had 19, Noah had 14. Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. And they're too big. They're too strong. Zabrowski, he's the most underrated player in the league. Definitely rightfully deserved to be in the MVP, conversation, especially last night. He took a Silver Key defense. Silver Key stands by their defense, and he ripped them up 25 points. Fantastic game, and just too big. It was that simple, just too big. And it was close in the beginning. It was close at halftime. It was a 3-point game. But come second half, Vly started hitting their shots. Silver Key still couldn't hit shots, and Vly just pulled away. Ended up winning by 14 or 15 points. As Noah and Jack and Dylan, I've been humbly saying all season. I mean that seriously, humbly. They don't talk a lot of trash. They said they're number 1 seed, and I agree. I said they're the best. Sherifian's there. I think they're a significant level above everyone else. Without Sherifian, I still think they are the most talented team, the most well-rounded team, the deepest team. Anybody, as Jack Russ always says, anybody could put up 20 points in a night, whether it's Jack, whether it's Zabrowski, whether it's Ibrahimi with his 3 balls, whether it's Noah Aaron, whether it's Khalili, who's a great player who gets so overshadowed because the team's so deep. Sharifian, whether he's there, we'll see if he's coming for the championships on Sunday. They're a deep team, they're a big team, and they're a very difficult team. And they made Silver Key look like really like a bunch of children. Like, Silver Key played amazing throughout the season. Their ball movement was fantastic. They're such a fun team to watch. They're energetic. They're hitting threes, and there's all that disappeared. As much credit as I want to give to Vly, it seemed like there was some lack of energy coming in the Silver Key. They had like 3 offensive rebounds all game. And one of them was by their captain, Jeffrey, who checked himself in with 6 minutes to go and had an offensive rebound. Like, it was just deadness. And on the theme of deadness, let's go to the other game. Rides to Fly versus All Realty. We're going to give All Realty their props, and we're about to go there. Rides to Fly came in dead. And they stuck dead the whole game. Different than usual. Usually Rides to Fly, they'll come in, they'll joke around, they'll chill, have Allswing bring the ball up, they'll have Wasser sit in the corner, they'll take it easy, and then they turn it up and they dominate. They came in just weird. Tired. They're short on all their shots, also because missing layups. Pacey wasn't the scorer he normally is. Wasser was missing almost every 3 he took. Very weak, very tired, very off. And now to give credit where credit's due, All Realty absolutely came in with a goal, came in with a vengeance. They know that they lost to Rosser and Rides to Fly last year when both teams were fully loaded, and they just dominated end to end. Now, again, granted, the first half of the game, it was close. I think, again, it was a 5 or 6 point game, maybe 9 point game at halftime. A defensive battle early on, as I predicted. Lior did a great job on Wasser. Whoever was guarding Alad for Rides to Fly did a great job on Alad as well. Alad didn't do too much on the offensive end either, although had a great defensive game. But again, All Realty eventually turned it up. Rides to Fly did it. They just stuck dead. Obviously, we had a couple of controversial plays in that game. We had the first Allswing and Marcel scrum under the basket, where Allswing sort of wrapped Marcel up and hugged him to the ground. Marcel then shoved Allswing, got called for the tech, and Olam was upset. that also didn't also they call for a tech because he sort of was the aggressor a little bit in the beginning of the play. They didn't call a tech at all swing, and then to boot, I'd say 5 minutes later, 5-6 point game, all of Realty. Again, Marcel gets into it. I'm not sure with who. A little scrum on the ground, and Marcel sort of tosses the ball, and it goes right at one of the refs. Whether he did it on purpose or not, I don't think he did. I didn't see the play, but from people who saw it, he didn't do it on purpose. But the ref got hit with the ball, and the ref called, but the ref needed to call. I was talking to people about it, and as much as it stinks, you never want to eject a guy, especially the talent level of Marcel. Marcel's a fantastic player, and he's a game changer for Olam. In the NFL, if a player is arguing with the ref and by mistake bumps him, like, you're going to get ejected or called for a personal foul, even if it's a mistake. That's how it works. So, the ref called what the ref saw. It was unfortunate. It was terrible timing. You never want that to happen in a big game, but he had to do what he had to do, and I think that's what the conclusion was. Now, I want to say something about Olam Realty. They could have folded. Granted, it helped them that Rides to Fly missed like 8 straight free throws at one point. It was, again, feeding into my rant of how dead they looked. But they not only held the ground up 6 with 7.5 to go, Marcel out, they just turned it up like crazy. They just straight up dominated the last 7 minutes of the game. Rides to Fly by 10 to 13 points and ended up winning by like 16, 17 points. An absolute dominant performance. It was the best 7 minutes I played all game. Nothing new with Marcel. Marcel's a fantastic player. I'm just saying the perseverance that they had, that they got back up even after a very controversial ejection, and the whole place was going nuts, and Marcel was mad, and Olam was mad, and they wanted us to come into the game and talk to the refs and reinstate them into the game, which, by the way, I love you guys. I would never, ever do. It's something that I'm never going to do. I'm never going to interrupt my – especially I didn't see the play. If I saw the play and, like, it's super obvious and, like, it's just – but, like, unless it's a extreme circumstance, I would never interrupt the game and overrule. It just doesn't make sense to me. However, the perseverance Olam Realty had was unbelievable. And credit to Ben Roberts. Ben Roberts came in. He told me what was going to happen. He told me they're coming with fire. They're not losing. They're winning the ship, as he likes to say, and they're there. So Olam Realty, Fly Vipers. The Fly Vipers obviously are in the championship for the first time. Last year they came close. They beat Wasser, Rides to Fly, Formula One Link Home Care, who's now, by the way, lost since the championship when they've lost in the quarterfinals last winter. Now in the semis this fall. So they're slowly, getting back to their championship, but like they haven't done anything since that first season, in which really the talent wasn't there for the most part. So we'll see what they come in. We'll see what they add. Moving on to this game, the Fly Vipers and Olam Realty. It's a fun matchup. It should be a very physical matchup. However physical the games were last night, Sunday should be even more physical. Marcel is out. That is confirmed. It's a huge loss for Olam Realty. Huge. He's a great player. He's an outside shooter. He plays big inside. Big G will be there. Lior's going to have to step up. A couple of the role players, Matt, fantastic player. I thought he was a role player. This guy's a stud. Great scorer. Played really well last night. He's going to have to step up. I think Elliot might be back from injury. He'll have to step up. And it should be a fun game. It should be physical inside. I will put out the line officially on Sunday. I do think Vlad has the edge on this game, especially that Marcel. Somewhere in the 8 to 12 point range would probably be the line. If I had to guess, if Sharifian's in, it might even extend a little more than that. Now, our last 2 championships, our only 2 championships, in blowouts. Link Home Care beat, I think it was Annie's Kitchen by like 16 points 2 years ago. Home Realty beat Jules by DK by like 15 points last year, so I'm hoping for a good battle. I do know Olam will give it everything they have. They're a fun team. They're an athletic team. They're a freakishly good team. Vlad tends to step up in these games. When you need a bucket, you go to Vlad, similar to Wasser, although it didn't really do much last game. But when you go to Vlad, you need a bucket. He usually, gets it for you. They draw a lot of fouls. They play physical inside. But again, Vlad with Jack and Noah inside, and Zabrowski and Khalili and Sharifian plays outside. Like, they're a very, very tough team. So we'll see. It should be a fun game. It should actually, I think, be a high-scoring game. A lot of fouls. A very slow game, but a high-scoring game is what I'm going to think. There'll be a lot of fouls called on the inside. Be very aggressive. I think because the clock stops on free throws, it'll be a much higher-scoring game. I think it'll schlep. I think it'll be an hour-and-a-half game from start to finish. Typically, it's a 50, 55 minute to an hour. I think you're talking an hour 20, an hour and a half. We'll get into predictions on Sunday. I'm pumped to watch it. Let's get into Tier 2 now before we close it out. Can't forget about Tier 2. By the way, 12 Tier 2 teams. Not 1, not 2, 3, 12 teams coming up this winter. 12 Tier 2 teams. Major shout out again to David Gottlieb, my partner, who took the Bulls by the horns, and I'm bringing a Tier 2 team after last year in the winter season. And we had 5 teams this season, and we're having 12 tiers. It's crazy. Our third season, 12 Tier 2 teams. Hopefully having 8 Tier 1 teams, 20 teams total. It's going to be amazing. 4 games Sunday, 2 games Wednesday, 4 games Thursday. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely epic. I'm pumped. Back to Tier 2. We got the boys, Blisco, Tabak, Big D, Daddy Freed. Zalman Pollock's hurt. I got to ask him to sing the national anthem. Let's see if I ask him first or if he said here first. and all the boys going up against Prager going up against Bakalakalakana and Ibra Thrimi, who is playing in 2 championships. Now, these are 2 totally different style teams. The Balakana team in Barbacoa, they just shoot. They bring the ball down, they shoot threes. Shoot threes. When they're hitting threes, they'll put up 70 points. When they're not hitting threes, they can lose to anyone. Crown Care is a much different team. They play a lot of defense. They're not huge, but they're big. Danny Free down low is not as big anymore, but he's big. And they're very methodical. They move the ball around. So it's 2 totally different teams. I could see, again, it's very hard to predict this game because if you have Ibrahimi and I'm forgetting the names, but a couple of the other players hitting their threes, they could put up 50 points in a half. Like, it's not an exaggeration. However, if they're not, I could see Crown Care just methodically sort of like keeping them at bay and just like winning like a 46-38 game. I could see it being 71-52 Barbacoa. I could see it being like a 51-43 game. Like, 2 totally different styles of play. Again, whichever team could tap into their style ultimately will get the win. It should be a lot of fun. It should be intense also. Like, Tier 2 is a very intense league, and I'm pumped to have it really grow. It's going to be a lot, very talented this season, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be way more talented next season. I'm excited about that. So I think that's all I got for you guys. Obviously we have the big event Sunday, the championship event. We got Smash House there. We got a 3-point shootout. Guys, represent. We have, I think, right now 10 out of 15 teams committed. I want to get the final 5. Might be a little difficult. Got Mr. DeVere over there in the 5 towns. Can't drive for 45 minutes. Oh, it's too long. It ruins my day. I have nightmares. But if you guys could find 2 guys to come down, get some free supper, win some free shirts, we'd love to have you. It should be fun. It should be exciting. I'm pumped. Again, thanks to you guys. This is not possible without you guys. We appreciate all you. The fact that we started a basketball league last fall with 8 teams, and now we're looking at 20 teams for the 3rd season of HSL basketball is pretty awesome. Once we're here and you guys are watching, hopefully, and looking at my face, I want to, again, plug our awesome event, January 11th at the Cheese Store. Thanks to Daniel Goldfarb. I also want to say to look out for a potential sponsorship collab for that event. Hopefully we'll come at you soon. Everyone's invited. It's starting 8 o'clock in the Cheese Store. We'll have the NFL wildcard game on. We'll have, obviously, amazing food from the Cheese Store. Free for everybody to come. Drinks, come chill, come eat, come watch. In the heart of the 5 towns, in the best restaurant in the 5 towns. Dairy restaurant in the 5 towns. Gotta be careful with my sponsors there. Barbacoa, etc. Smash House. Best dairy restaurant in the 5 towns. And yeah, guys, come down. We'd love to see all of you. Should be fun. Should be a good chill. What else are you doing on a Saturday night? You got free food and free football. So we'll have to see you guys. And we go into winter break. We then start men's basketball up again February 1st. Softball people, if you're still watching this, if you're looking at my face, we got our Sunday morning softball flyer. It should be out this week, hopefully on Monday. So excited for that. The night flyer should be out a couple weeks later. We're starting that, of course, in the middle of March in the morning. Nights are probably going to wait till after Pesach. That's all I have for you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. It's a fun show. Fun pod. Short. Our shop is here, but thanks for watching, guys. And we will see you Sunday in the championship. Everybody, come. Smash House. Come by.